Okay, here we go. This is BullishBear, and we are talking today about November 9th. Trading day, it is the middle of the day. It's 12 o'clock. We just had 30-year bond auction hit, and just look at that chart. Look at it. Absolute crater. Inside of one of my favorite patterns, a megaphone pattern. We got this one starting to set up very early this morning on unemployment data, which was 7:30 in the morning Central Time, and after that, a little bit of mortgage delinquencies, and then at 1 p.m., 30-year bond auction. 1 p.m. Eastern, that is. The 30-year bond auction just, man, it really just set things off. Kind of been tracking this megaphone since the morning. Had quite a few touches at the low end. Market really started to spread that price action to the high side where I had some supply. Basically, after that supply hit, we found a downtrend inside of the channel that we have on Trade I will show you right after this. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we are looking at our November 9th trading intraday. Still moving as we're talking about it, but I have taken the rest of the day to talk to you all about everything that's going on so far. So what we have is what we're looking at here, NQ from the morning, a little bit of a overnight range, pretty clean Globex session. We can zoom in a little bit here just to give you a better look. Basically came in, had our open at 3 p.m., 5 p.m. Central. A little bit of an overnight move, up and down. And then after that, man, had a little morning move up to the top of what has turned into a megaphone, as we were talking about earlier. And so, morning market move, touched the top quite a few times. And then we broke to the low side of it early in the morning. Tested that lower range from yesterday that we have been reverting to, that morning chop, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Just about the same time today, we tested that range and then found ourselves a trend where we basically started to really widen that megaphone pattern. The megaphone pattern at the top up here, where I have a channel, basically this section, this little guy right here. We formed that, and at the top where we touched the top of the megaphone, up at the top here, we then reverted back to the midline of the broader channel that we have here. And then right at noon Central Time, I mean, let's just take a look at Bookmap if it's still up there. No, it's not on the stream, unfortunately, but we can look at it here. Absolute whopper reaction to that data. So basically, bonds ripping downward, immediately touched and made a 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth touch of this megaphone at the widest point. So after this many touches on a megaphone, I'm not really inclined to think that we're going to run all the way back up here, but the market is known to do things regardless of what we think. Just remember that. Always does. Always will, and it can stay irrational longer than we can stay liquid or solvent. So keep that in mind when you are trying to come up with an explanation for why the market is doing what it is doing. It's better to just accept it and move on. So I will say I'm a little excited. I'm sure you can tell in my voice. I was short right around here based on the top of this range that we had, this little guy. I was short that range, and I kind of did forget that bonds was happening at the time, but as soon as it did, pretty much caught most of these three candles. I would say I probably cut out right around the second one, maybe at the bottom of the second one. Trade was lagging, so I couldn't even get a limit order to show up on the screen, much less fill. So I just hit the exit and market cancel and got out as soon as I could. Turned out that that was a good decision because volatility spikes. We hit the bottom of that channel, came right back up to the center here. Look at that. tested right in the middle of the chop. So we're back to probably, let's take a look at VIX and we can see exactly what might have happened there. Yeah, huge spike on the day, huge spikes. So VIX settled down just a little bit. It's still high on the day, however, not where it was a little bit ago. So basically, things are settling down. And so now we're just going to take a look at the rest of the day. Rest of the day is inside this channel right here on the 1K tick. So the top of this second hit right here is going to be where the bonds auction started. Huge rip downwards to create the second and first and second hit of this channel. We're moving back up, third hit of the channel right here, and now back into a lower range, which, you guessed it, yesterday morning's chop range. So that's where we are. I imagine we're going to be reverting from that range to the center, right back up here around 400 to 385. That's pretty much what Bookmap has told us the whole time, and that's pretty much what TPO has told us as well. You can see prices at the lower end of the huge value area, which is this square, this red square. Basically, the last 2 days and today, most of the value area has been right here, and all of the reversion above and below has pulled right back to these 3 point of controls. Very important information, and TPO is great at showing you where to stay away and what is more than likely going to happen if you revert away from the value areas. Value areas, by the way, in TPO, we have this set up to where you have this white box, and then inside with the most touched sessions is going to be the TPO value area, along with this red section in the histogram and the yellow line, which is going to be point of control, all important factors. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to that as you go through your trading day in your system. So moving back, I'm going to put this red box back where I had it because that is critical to me for making my decisions and noting exactly where the value areas are kind of consolidating in general. I wish we were able to get different session times, like maybe an hour session or even a 15-minute session, but in this case, I'm hoping for more condensed information all in one. But TPO does 30-minute sessions for a good reason, and we're just going to stick with how that works. Back to the 1K tick as we are watching. We're getting another test here as we tested that lower range that we've been watching. It is now moving back to touch this downtrending channel again. Potential for a move up. We can move over to the 500 tick and see here exactly what is happening. Draw a little trend, get ourselves something to work with here. Boom. Right in, just like that. Okay, so that is a potential move upwards and out where we could see a test of this range above at 400. So that's sort of what the day's been like so far. I'm going to leave you there with that. And I hope you have a great rest of your trading day and evening. Thank y'all. Bye.